Peace and blessings to the chosen. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor to Habitation. Up honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to I can pushing his truth with sincerity and charity. I'm the brother Yalad, and responding to this video. This is not your fight, Jake, which was just put up. The Elder Bishop's live show, or Sunday live, and they just finished wrapping up, and it's funny that sometimes the things that they say are the things that we talk about in class prior, the Sunday class. But I want to add on to this because these precepts, some of these precepts came out during the same day, and they were touching on the things of the carnalities of Jake and the Neo or new Black Panthers out, picking up the torch of what was the Black Panthers then, I suppose. But this is 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds." And that is what we're doing with our videos. We're chanting against this place, just like we chanted against Jericho, right? Not bragging about shotguns, like the video of that Black Panther recently talked about what he'd do to an ICE agent with his 12 gauge. Okay, this scripture is the weapon to fight our enemies with, and it's a spiritual fight. Once again, 2 Corinthians 10:4 says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into the captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach." So yeah, I'll get the accounts, or maybe not the accounts, but the references of the account. Hebrews 11:30, it says, "By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days." So it wasn't a physical fight, and still we won. That's a victory marked in the history. This is 2 Maccabees 12:15. It says, "Wherefore Judas with his company, calling upon the great Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai of the world, who without rams or engines of war did cast down Jericho in the time of Joshua, gave a fierce assault against the walls, and took the city by the will of God, and made unspeakable slaughters, insomuch that a lake 2 furlongs broad near adjoining thereunto, being filled full, was seen running with blood." And now Judas Maccabees is these were physical wars that were being fought at the time, right? But when we chanted against the walls of Jericho, we didn't hit the walls with a battering ram, right? The Lord, you had us speaking against our enemies alone, and that brought the walls down. So there's parts of the battle that's physical, and there's parts of the battle that are spiritual, and it's not always a carnal thing. The physical part is going to come. We are chanting down the walls of Babylon today, and when Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, returns, then it's going to get even more physical. Then he's actually going to be more literal and physical when it comes to destroying and warring and waging war with the whore, which is the beast, or Babylon, which is the US of A. nevertheless, it's not gonna happen to where we could take this place down on our own. We need the Lord to help us, and that's when we brought out that worm. Is it Isaiah? We brought that out in class. Isaiah 41:14. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye man of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So we are the worm right now. We don't have the weapons to really defend ourselves from these devils, because if we did, we would have been out of here. And it's not that we're weak, but the Lord gave these devils the power to have this kingdom, and to take the world by violence, because the world is given into the hand of the wicked. And what's the Daniel we brought out? It was Daniel, I think 12:4. Right? No, it was Daniel 4:12. We brought out. Nah, it was something. Was it 17? It was 17. So these devils, they were just given the green light, and the Lord backed them to take the world, because ultimately it was prophecy. Isaac did give a blessing to Esau that he would have the blessing of the sword, and he would have the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. And when was that time to do that? Daniel 4:17. This matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High Yahweh ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men. And who is the basis of men? Job 30:8. They were children of fools, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now am I their song? I am their byword. So these people who you wouldn't even allow to have company with your dogs. Right? He said, I wouldn't set them with the flock of my dogs. It's these people that they dwelt in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Right? They dwelt in uninhabitable terrain. Among the bushes they brayed like Neanderthals, right? Making caveman sounds and stuff of that nature. They did these things, but what? We're their song. We're their byword. They talk about us, and they have a position in this world and have power, and they speak evil of us and say that we're inferior, or that we're weak, when the Lord has set them up to be in a prideful estate. And who am I referring to? Edom. Obadiah 1:4. It says, Obadiah 1:3. The pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. Who dwelled in the clefts of the rock? Who dwelt in Mount Seir? Who dwelt in Mount Caucasus? Who dwelt in Mount Kazariah? Who are these people that were the dwelling places of these uninhabitable places, or these cave-like places for cavemen-like people? It says that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down? So who is prideful? Who thinks that they have the best country and best military, that nobody can defeat them? That though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. So who's sending things into the orbit of the Earth's atmosphere? Satellites. Who has claimed to land on the moon, right? It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. What nation, what race of people have put themselves as their emblem and their symbol, their national animal to be an eagle, right? It says, "Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai." So here it is. You could connect that Job, that they dwelt in the cliffs of the valleys. I just peeped it right here to the clefts of the rock. It's talking about the Idumeans, the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white man. He is Esau, he is Edom. Esau is Edom. The self-proclaimed white man is the so-called white people. And who dwelt in Mount Seir, right? Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And Lord will, I'm gonna put the thumbnail as the mountains in which he dwelt in, and hopefully that this was edifying. And I'm gonna end it on that by giving Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abba Babal.